ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm excited. Okay.
I'm excited.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of For You, For Me. But we are back with another guest episode today. I have been doing so many guest episodes recently and just getting all the girl talk and just all these conversations. Obviously, with Eve Miss, we've heard a lot of my voice, so I'm excited to kind of pass the mic over and have another girl on the show. And I'm very excited for today's podcast episode because I'm interviewing a friend today who I met probably almost a year ago now, and just instant bond. So much just relatability, and I just love all her content. So Rachel, welcome to For You From Eve.
Thanks, girl. I'm so excited.
I have missed her so much because we have not chatted in so long.
Yes.
So many life updates have been going on.
Yes.
Like, look, and she's like on a red carpet somewhere, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on. You're like crying one day and then on the red carpet the next day.
So like, you're a girl, I can do both.
Yeah, there's a lot going on now.
Yeah.
We're also at Spotify Studios right now, which is exciting. It's beautiful here.
Stunning.
So I'm very excited to just get all these life updates. But before we get into the life updates and everything going on, talk to us a little bit about you, who you are, what you come from, and what you do for work.
Sure. I'm Rachel. I come from Arizona. I'm from Arizona, born and raised, and I lived there for the first 20-something years of my life before I moved to New York.
Crazy.
So it was a big change going from Arizona to New York, for sure, but it literally is the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. I stand by moving out of your hometown, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. I think it has just opened so many doors, also made me grow so much as a person. I am 24. I live in Manhattan right now. I do two things for work right now. I started my own kind of creative agency, more like freelance social media, and I'm doing that full-time right now. I made that transition this year to be a full-time freelancer. It's the literal best thing I've ever done, and it took a lot for me to believe in myself and make that jump because I was a flight attendant before, so I literally did 360.
Yeah.
And I have a whole college degree, and I'm not using that, and I'm not using my flight attendant career.
Yeah.
So it was very out of left field, but it was great. And then I run socials for different brands and accounts and help with the strategies, also the content creation, sometimes a little bit of management, but I feel like as my career evolves, I'm really leaning into the content creation side. I do a lot of product-focused or service-focused brands. And then I also do my own socials. It's a little half and half. My personals have been growing, which means they take a lot more time these days. So it's becoming more of a 2 full-time job thing. But
right. And did you came to New York, you started doing all the social media stuff. Did you do social media in Arizona?
No.
So you fully started from scratch.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
I had a normal social media presence.
Right.
I posted my day-to-day life, my friends, my family, what I was doing, but I did not do any influencer type content until January of this year. So I'm very
Wait, what?
Yes. Very new to the space.
Wait, that is insane.
Yeah.
You've been doing your own social media for barely a year.
Yes.
That is crazy because first of all, your content's high quality. You have good content, you know how to speak to the camera, you know what to show, you know your angles, you know everything.
So sweet.
And you've accomplished so much.
Thank you. I literally don't know. I feel
how did this happen?
I don't know. I've always kind of had this weird intuition that it was gonna happen. I was just so in my head and so scared of what my friends would think, what people would think, what people were gonna say. It sounds so cheesy, but honestly, moving to New York's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
I have the world's best and most supportive friends here, and there's not one single thing I could do that I would ever be embarrassed about. They're my biggest cheerleaders.
That is huge.
I feel when I was living in Arizona, I just cared way more about what people thought of me. I have great friends back home too, but it was just such a different vibe here. Everyone's doing their own thing. Everyone's off the beaten path, and so is that how you say that?
I don't know, but it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's
But yeah, I just felt the need to be better.
Oh, I love that.
And everyone's working so hard, doing so many things, and yeah.
I feel that every time I'm in New York too, especially because they say you're the average of your 5 closest friends.
Yes.
So when you're living in your hometown around the same people doing the same things and everything, you feel what you're doing is enough, and then you'll go somewhere like New York and you'll see what everyone else is doing and you're what the hell? If this person can do so much, I can start adding more to my plate.
Exactly.
Which is very motivating and healthy, but obviously in the comparison sense can be a little bit taking away from everything you built. So how do you, because I know social media it's a very big comparison field, like especially with
Insane.
dealing with people your age. Oh, they're going to these
Yes.
events or they're getting this PR and I'm not. Like, and it kind of like messes with you because you're like, what are they doing that I'm not? What is your advice for people that want to be in social media, that are in social media, but comparison is like killing them?
Such a great question. Obviously, I'm newer to this space. Like, this is something I still learn every single day. I think I get over it, and then I find myself like being so mean to myself, and I have to pull myself out of it. I did grow up as a dancer, so like I'm used to the constant comparison, the constant like negativity, all of that stuff, which I think has definitely helped toughen my skin
Yeah.
and help me through this process. But I actually have so many friends of mine that reach out to me, like asking how I got over posting. And it sounds stupid, but literally you just have to do it.
No, I agree.
Like, I swear it's exposure therapy. And
Yeah.
the more and more you do it, every single time, it's going to get easier and easier. Like, my first vlog I posted, first of all, I feel like this is common, but like, I'm way more scared to post on Instagram than I am on TikTok. Like, I will post.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Not anymore, but I used to be. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's common for a lot
Actually,
of.
I agree.
Yeah, like a lot of my friends
agree.
will say that too. On TikTok, I'm more willing to post like random influencer type videos, and then my first time posting like my first day in the life vlog on Instagram, I was so scared because that's where all of like my high school friends, my college friends, and coworkers followed me. Honestly, I just closed my eyes and ripped the band-aid off and pressed post.
Yeah.
And then you realize it's not that deep.
It's not.
It's really not that deep. I always say nobody that's successful in life or like on top would ever A, talk down on people because they're too busy and don't care.
I agree.
And B, if somebody is successful in a field and then saw somebody starting to do that field, they would be so supportive of that. So truthfully, anybody that's in your life that wants to talk shit about you or send your videos around, whatever, it's like, that's not someone you want in your life anyways.
I agree.
Which kind of goes back to how great my friend group is here, and like everyone is so uplifting. And honestly, I don't want to say I lost people when I started doing social media, but I definitely like my eyes were opened to
you see who your true friends are.
Yes. And yeah, I just like people talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And then those are all every single time the people that talk shit are the ones that are now posting their vlogs.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
and not even the talk shit part, even like just you, oh, this is my best friend and she's never once promoted your page or liked your pictures or commented. Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy. And I try to give grace because, like,
right.
maybe
like, you don't have to keep up with my life. But, like, if you see, like, I know there's people that see my posts that are my friends and they don't like it.
No,
like, I know that happens.
It's so bizarre to me.
It is.
Especially if it's, like, a close friend of yours and they know how hard you're working on it and how much time and effort it takes and, like, how much you want that goal. Why would you not support your friends? Like, it's very bizarre to me.
I agree.
So if you, honestly, I feel like if you're intimidated to post, look around you and figure out why you're intimidated.
I agree. I want to talk about friendships, but before we do, because I want to dig deep, like, I'm, truthfully, I could say jealous of the friendships that, like, you talk about, you post. So like, it's such a hard thing to find, especially in New York.
You're one of my friends.
Oh, yeah. We're
so you're part of that.
But before we get into the friendships and everything, especially in New York, I want to talk more about the social media because some people that listen to me maybe do social media, but they're not seeing results from their posts or like they can't engage with their community. Even me personally, I struggle so much with like building a following on TikTok or like creating engaging content. So for people that are in that space and they're struggling with creating that content or getting a community, what is your advice for the content that they post? And like, is it hashtags that people don't know about? Like, what is it that's helping you reach out and, you know, come on the Explore page?
I think the biggest thing I've done that has helped me see the most growth is talking to the camera. Like, it's so easy, especially when you're starting out and you're nervous and you're scared. It's easy to just like post the aesthetic content, put a cute song over it, or that's what I started with, and then I went to voiceovers. I still love a good voiceover, but the second I started,
I love your voiceovers. I know, like, seriously, guys, her day in the life,
so
I'll
sweet.
watch it. I'm like, I need to do more tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, shush. No. Also, social media is like so fake. That's always my day in the lives, but like it looks so much more glamorous. I swear, like in my day to day, I'm like, this is just a normal day, and then online it looks great.
Yeah.
But posting with yourself talking, I feel like it really adds such a new layer. And to add on to that, I think vulnerability is so important, which I know we'll get into. But like, I recently went through an extreme life change, and I was scared shitless. I was scared shitless to post about it, and like I went back and forth for so long, and like a month in between when things happened and when I posted my first video about it, honestly, the amount of like community growth I've seen since being vulnerable is insane. I feel like I had number growth, and like I was gaining followers, I was getting likes, but I really was lacking that like sense of community. Like I didn't feel like I had like a diehard following that knew who I was and like what my story was and cared about me until I started being vulnerable and like opening up about real stuff. Like I struggle with acne, I post about my skin, and I got so many people reaching out to me. Since I was like 21, I have acne.
Oh, you got
like
it in
I've
your 20s.
had,
Well, some people get it in their 20s
had
just from lifestyle
literally
change.
perfectly clear skin my entire life.
Oh, see, not me.
And then one day,
age
just
14
like,
till now, it's been 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, your skin looks great. You're glowing today.
It's the makeup.
We're in it together. But yes, I think my biggest tip would definitely be like, be patient, because it takes a long effing time. Like anyone I've seen that has like millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, and I've listened back to their social media journey, they say like, I was posting consistently for like 1 year, 5 years, 8 years, and then one day it blew up. And like I've seen people that take 8 years to grow 100K, and then they go from 100K to 2 million in a month. Like it can be so exponential, and I feel like most of my growth is very exponential. Like I go through plateaus, I go through lulls. Also, like the TikTok view jail. Have you heard of that?
I'm in it.
Okay,
I'm arrested.
Keep going, because
I'm literally arrested.
I think especially with that, it's like you have to be able to zoom out and get over yourself.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes into like the comparison and the embarrassment part of being able to just like close your eyes and keep pressing post. You have to just keep going.
And like I get how frustrating it is, because my content won't change. Like I'll maybe change it up if I see myself in the jail, but it's like you spend all the time on the content and then it like doesn't do well, and you're like, okay, what, I did all that for 300 views. Like it's so frustrating. There's
also, I mean, I've spent literally like hours editing videos before, and I'm like, this is gonna rock the world, and then I post it and it gets like 1,000 views. I'm like, okay, that was 5 hours of my life. I just like, it can be so frustrating, but then I won't give up and I'll post the next one and it gets like 4 million views.
Right.
Like my reset videos are a great example.
Yeah, I love
like
those.
I've posted some before that do terribly.
Yeah.
But I also think a big tip that I learned early on, I forgot who told it to me, but you want to make sure you have a good like portfolio basically for when you do blow up.
Okay.
Because I think sometimes viral videos are great and they will give you like the exponential growth, but you can go viral from a video and gain a bunch of pointless followers. But if you have a video go super viral and all of your followers go back to your page and there's like consistent content that's high quality, shows who you are, like the video that went viral, if that's replicated in a million different ways on all of your posts, that's how you gain a follower that's going to be part of your community.
Right.
So I really try to focus on like the overall picture, not so much the direct views of each and every post. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's been times too where like one of my videos will do well.
Yes.
And then I'll go back to my page to see what people are seeing, and I'm like, let me pin the things that I want them to see.
Exactly.
Or like make sure the link in my bio is working or my Instagram is working or something like that. Exactly. So I agree. And like you said about consistency, like I always say, everything you want is on the other side of consistency. You could be one away. You could be one video away, one podcast episode away.
You
like
never know.
You never know. And I understand how frustrating it is. And like I've been in this little TikTok jail, but I've also like grown in other ways or like tried to like expand myself. So where are you besides, you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, is there anything else that you kind of like, do you do like the whole Pinterest post and link thing or no?
Like literally no, but I hear that it's a great outlet and I feel like I should.
The social media can be very tough. I've been trying to do a lot of like brand deals, and I know you're really fun with brand deals and you get really good ones. So are you with yourself? Are you with an agency, or you do your own?
I do all my own right now.
That's
I'm
crazy.
Actually like in the process of interviewing different management agencies.
Okay.
So that's in my future, hopefully for 2025.
And how does that work?
I think it can work a couple different ways. Okay. How it's worked for me is they've all reached out to me. Like I haven't done any outreach, which I'm so blessed and lucky for that. But I also know tons of people that are signed that they reached out. Right. Whether they know a friend that's in a business or a friend that's signed to an agency and like their friend put in a good word. Or, I mean, if you know of agencies, like go to your favorite creator, look in their bio. It probably says who they're represented by. I mean, a cold call never hurts. I feel like cold emailing has got me so far in this life, like in my career. So if I was looking for management and didn't have them in my inbox, I would definitely cold email these people or cold DM them or whatever it took.
Right.
But yeah, for me personally, I've had a couple of them reach out, and I don't know.
Is it like tough because you are doing very good on your own?
Yes, it is tough, but honestly, I'm like getting to the point where my social media is kind of turning more into a business, which I'm so thankful for, but it's hard. Like there's just a lot of admin work, which if I was doing it full time, I would absolutely not have a manager right now. Like I would keep every single penny and keep doing my thing because like the inbound deals have been so great. But with managing my inbox, I also have zero time for outreach right now. Like I'm just so busy with my other company, so I don't do any outreach. So if I'm already making the money I'm making now and like seeing the growth and having the opportunities I'm having now, I can't even imagine what would be possible with a little bit of outreach, let alone a lot of outreach, which most agencies do a lot of outreach. That's like all they do all day. There's also like the technical stuff, like the tax forms, the invoicing. I totally screwed myself because this is embarrassing, but I had a brand deal and the invoice was due within 7 days of my live post date, and I completely forgot about it and then realized like 3 months later.
So you just posted it for free?
Yeah, I just posted it for free. And I missed out on a lot of money. Like it was like one of my like at the time highest paying deals. So I learned my lesson the hard way.
That would like ruin my month.
No, it ruined my month. But I try to give myself grace.
Yeah.
But yeah, like little stuff like that. Like I feel like I need to leave that to the professionals. And so then as you grow, it's nice to have a team.
So how right now do you get these brand deals? Do you like they reach out to you?
Yeah.
Really? They just reach out to your email because of TikTok and Instagram.
Yes. Which also, if you want to do content creation, put your freaking email in your bio. Like I have so many friends that work in the influencer marketing space, like either for brands or for agencies, and I feel like that is every single one of their biggest tips. It's like even if you have a button that says email, like that's not good enough. It needs to be written out in your email for everyone to see.
I agree.
Because they just want it easy. Like they have jobs to do too.
Yeah, I learned even just in working in social media, I always look for the age, where they're from, and their email.
Yes.
Like those are the 3 things I want to know, because it's like if I'm a Canada brand, why am I going to reach out to this girl in New York? So it's like important to know.
Exactly.
So you do your own brand deals because they reach out to you. Do you negotiate like?
I do.
Okay, so
it's kind of tough on your own though. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so like I used to like fake it and just say like we are the social media team of For You From Eve.
Girl, that was my freaking motto is fake it till you make it. I literally made a separate Gmail account.
No, I don't blame you.
And pretended to be my own manager, and I'd be like, "Hi, looping my manager in," and then it would just be me. That's like how would people know?
Oh,
because
that's really
I
funny.
swear when I was like negotiating for myself, brands, I feel like there's just a little bit less like reputability when you're, is that even a word? I'm losing my brain today.
No.
But you're less reputable when it's just you reaching out sometimes, and like brands will typically
That's how I feel.
give you a little more to work with if they know you're represented or like they don't want to mess with an agency. So yeah.
No,
I don't do that anymore. I just email as myself now because I don't have the time to do all that. But I definitely did that once.
No,
and
I've
it,
done that
really
before
helped.
too. It does help because it's like, oh wait, this girl has a team behind her. Like maybe I am working with someone.
No,
more.
exactly.
Oh, I love
like,
that.
Always fake it till you make it, and like present yourself to be bigger than you are. Because
I'm like in the negotiating thing now too, where I know the quality of my work, where unless it's like a huge brand, I'm probably not going to be doing a gifted collaboration where it's like I have to get paid to do this. And, you know, you get rejected a lot. And I think that's very normal in social media. So what is your advice to those that are doing gifted collaborations, but they want to excel to paid collaborations? And how do they approach it?
I would say analytics definitely don't lie. I had my fair share of gifted collaborations. Like, I feel like I didn't stop taking gifted collaborations until like 6 months in. Like, I was doing gifted everything for free for like a good 6 months, and to this day I'll still do a gifted collaboration if it's like an event I really want to go to, a brand I'm obsessed with, but like definitely has to be extremely aligned for me to do that. Just because I'm so busy, it's like hard to find the time. I would definitely, I mean, I get emails in my inbox every single day asking for gifted collaborations.
Right.
Don't be afraid to respond to the email and say, obviously be nice, be sweet. Like, I think being nice in this industry can take you so far, and like being personable. So I'm always trying to be very personable in my emails, but I was like, thanks so much for reaching out. I really appreciate it. Transparently, like, I am prioritizing paid at this time. Is there any room in your budget for this campaign? And you'd be shocked.
You'd be very shocked.
You would be shocked.
Something else I started doing too was, actually, you kind of helped me with this because I had come to you with a brand. I don't know if I should say it, but Princess Polly. Okay. It was literally just Princess Polly. I was like, they're doing a gifted, they're giving me a gift card. And I was like, I hope this isn't like the only time I work with them. And you were like, just follow up with them. Like every few months, like literally follow up and be like, hey, this was the thing I did for you. So I took that very seriously.
Yes.
And what I did was I created this whole PowerPoint of analytics. And I like attached the video, I attached the analytics, the link to the video, a screenshot of the video, everything. And like a month after it being posted, I sent it to them. And it literally has gotten me a brand deal with them again with like a higher budget for the thing. Like you would be so surprised. This is where brands are doing marketing now. So like know your worth and don't be afraid to do that. And like I couldn't believe, like it's funny because it's like, oh my god, I can't believe how much money I made just from social media. Like obviously comparison to Thief of Joy, like I could think of other creators and how much they make, but like for me personally, if you're telling me I'm even gonna make $1,000 for one video,
that's
or like
insane.
even if I'm not even kidding you guys, $1,500 for the month just from posting on TikTok.
Crazy.
Like
even
how?
$100. That's like $100 you didn't have.
Exactly.
For something you're already doing.
For something I did in
like,
15 minutes.
And the more you
plus
do
like free
it,
clothes or free products,
Exactly.
like whatever it is. It's crazy.
It's insane, and the more you do it, the faster it takes. So it's like you could be getting paid $1,500 for one video, but because you're so experienced, that video is taking you 15 minutes, and now you just got paid $1,500 for 15 minutes of your time.
Like do the math. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
No, it's
so
crazy.
it's like. It's so fun when it like you can be authentically yourself, and I think once you break down that shell of caring what people think, and like honestly, sometimes I see myself growing when I stop caring and I just post to post.
Yes.
It
The
helps
videos
so
you
much.
like don't expect to go viral always do.
I know, and it's like kind of annoying
It's
because I'm like, wait, I
crazy.
look like shit.
It's really annoying. But I feel like it just like all coincides. Like, it's all about believing in yourself, and it's all about faking it till you make it. Like even like I said, to get the confidence to post, you just have to do it. Like, and don't be discouraged when your video gets 200 views. Like, keep posting, because one day, whether it's tomorrow or it's 8 years from now, like they will do well. Like if you're putting out good content, it will do well.
I agree.
And don't be afraid to keep asking for money. Like, to this day, I get rejected.
Yeah,
like,
me
to
too.
this day, I
Or like they'll
put
be
out-
like, hey, we'll pay you this much. I'm like, how about this much? And they're like, no, we can only do this much. I'm like, all right, fine.
yeah, but like,
Like, damn,
definitely like
alright.
learn to negotiate and
Yeah.
learn to like put your foot down. And I think it's scary, especially being a young girl, to like vouch for yourself and kind of put yourself into that business
I agree.
mindset. Like, especially if you don't work in a field that's related to that. Like, I never had before, so it's really hard for me to like negotiate. But negotiation's everything in this world. Like, don't be
Yeah.
afraid to negotiate.
I agree.
And also, don't be afraid to say no. Like, the amount of times, like, I've given a company my rates and they just come back with something, like, so no, I don't want to say disrespectful, because
Right.
there's budgets for a reason. I totally get that.
A lot
but,
of people are like understanding too. They're like, we don't want to
so
offend you, but
of
like this is all we
course.
can do. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, because you're a small business and I want to support your business.
which
now.
I will not, exactly. Like, there's been
Right.
so many times I've been like, okay, like, I'm aligned with you, and like, hey, you're just so nice. Like, people aren't
Right.
that nice.
When they're
So
nice, I'm
someone's
like,
nice, I'm
okay.
like, I'll
yeah,
work with you.
me too.
But there's also been brands where I'm like, respectfully, like, if the brief is super long and like I just don't have the time, like, unless the payment is there, I have turned down brand deals, like, if they don't align with me and like it's not something I want to post about and like put my name behind.
Right.
Also know that it's fine to say no.
Yeah. I
And like, you
agree.
don't need to chase the money. You should like chase the like overall
Brand,
aesthetic
yeah.
of it, and
Yeah.
then like the money will just follow if you're like doing what you believe in.
I agree. And I think a huge part of doing what you do, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, is because you have such a great support system, which
Yes.
makes a very,
Dude.
very, very big difference, because I've had a support system. I haven't had a support system. I've had people who, like, I can't even talk about my work with them because they just don't care. And it's, like, very, like, tough to kind of, like, understand that people are not going to care. Like, I don't need my friends sitting there telling me about their work. Like, not that I don't
Yeah.
care, but it's like, I don't, you know? And I don't
No,
expect you to care.
Yeah.
But I think when you have friends that are supportive or don't get annoyed when you say, hey, can you take this picture of me in the
Yes.
streets, or, like,
Yes.
get weirded out by it, it's huge.
It's so
talk
good.
to us a little bit about how you made friends in New York and the importance of having those friendships, because it's
Yeah.
rare.
It's so rare. Like, I feel like the most blessed girl in the world. Like, I feel like everyone loves their friends, but I like literally love my friends
Yeah.
so much. Like, I am a Cancer. I cry all the freaking time, but
too.
I cry about them so much. Like,
Yeah.
I have never had such deep of friendships as I have currently in my life. Like, I have a group of girls. It's like 5 of us, and I know them from a lot of different ways. We're actually all from we all met in Arizona.
Oh, really?
Or we've all had ties to Arizona, which is really cool. So my best friend in New York, Ashley, is my roommate now, which is exciting.
I saw that.
She's my queen. I literally swear in another life we're soulmates. I'm obsessed with her.
Is that who you were just living with, or no?
Yes.
Oh.
During my in-between period.
Oh, so you guys are living together now. You moved
So-
to a new apartment together.
Yes.
Oh, that's so
Yes.
nice.
She,
Okay.
which, like, we'll get into that. That is,
Yeah.
like, the freaking truest friend I've ever met. Like,
Wow.
she literally.
Well, I remember when you
picked me
posted
up and healed
about
me.
it, and
Yes.
this is a little spoiler, but Rachel just went through a breakup that she posted about, and
Yeah.
when you were posting that you were staying with a friend,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wow, that is like a really true friendship.
Yes. And like, this is New York. Like, I'm not just staying
Yeah.
with a friend. Like, I was sleeping in her bed.
Yeah.
I was using her bathroom. I was like, it was a small Soho 1-bedroom apartment.
Right.
It's like a 400 square foot apartment. And we were
Yeah.
sharing it. Like, that is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Me, her, and her dog in our queen size bed every single night. Like,
That's crazy.
that's literally true love.
That is.
And if anyone, a freaking boy or your girlfriends don't treat you that way, like, freaking
Yeah.
get them out of your house.
I
Like, I
agree.
can confidently say all of my closest friends here treat me that way.
I love that.
Like, I knew I could call any single one of them and they would all be there for me,
That's
which
so
is so
important.
nice.
Yeah.
But I met Ashley through college.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other friend Berkeley is her friend as well. We all met through college. And then one of my other good friends, Sydney, is actually my mom's best friend's daughter.
Oh,
So I've
cute.
known Sydney since like the day I was born.
Oh,
She grew
I
up
love
as
that.
my sister. We spent every holiday together. And then she moved to New York and was a big reason why I moved out here. So I was honestly so blessed, and like I feel like survivor's guilt for this
Yeah.
because I know it's so hard to make friends in New York, and I came into such a supportive group of people I already knew. Granted, we have like created our bond since being here, and we were not as close as we are today when I first moved here. But I had a good group, and like I have friends through Sydney, like my friend Hannah, and like I have friends through Ashley, and they're the best. But I also have made other friends since living in New York, like people I didn't know from Arizona, and I have met organically in New York. I think going out there and like getting yourself to workout classes, going to a coffee shop, going up and talking to people, like
Yeah.
it's also New York, like there's so many events, and I know there's a lot of influencer events, which like if you're in the scene, great place to meet people, but 95% of people are not in that scene.
Yeah.
And I think you'd be surprised at how many like community events there are that are open to the public, whether you have to just RCP, buy a ticket, or they're free.
Mhm.
Like there's so many run clubs, hot girl walk clubs. Like I used to be
Hot
in
Girl
this-
Walk Club is cute.
Girl, I was in the slow girl run club.
That's
It was
cute.
insane. But I met like so many cute girls through that,
Mhm.
and like, yeah, I just think
Putting yourself out there.
putting yourself out there, and New York can seem scary, and like I walk around with an RBF all the time.
Yeah,
I'm sure
me
people don't want to
too.
come up to me, but if someone came up to me, I'd be like,
Me too.
"Hey, girl."
No, I know. Me
Like,
and
just
Tori
don't
were
be
just
scared.
talking about like
Yeah.
how it's like funny because you're like literally asking a girl out, like low
No,
key, like especially if you're like
literally.
social media, like DMing a girl. Like I always
Yes.
DM girls like we should grab dinner, like we should grab
Yes.
coffee, like especially in social media because I think it could also just be so fun to have a friend where it's like, oh, you have to film for this brand, I have to film for this brand. Let's put all our outfits in the car and go and
Dude.
have a day. Like that's so cute and fun.
100. Dude, honestly, if you're trying to grow in socials, like definitely reach out to other people in the
Yeah.
space. Like it has been so helpful. One of my best friends now, her name's Alex. She's so cute. But she and I became friends because she literally commented on my TikTok.
Really?
She commented on one of my TikToks and was like, "You're so cute. I just moved to New York. Can we get coffee?" And so I
Oh,
invited
nice.
her
Answer those
to
people.
like a Free People brand event with me,
Oh, fun.
and we worked out together and fell in love. And now we're besties and we hang out all the time.
oh, fun.
And like go to workout classes, get coffee, go to events together. Also, like if you live in a big city, there's influencer events. Like it's nice to know people
Yeah.
to go with,
yeah.
which is so sweet. And don't be afraid to like again, slide into a girl's DMs.
Yeah, do
freaking
it.
comment on a girl's TikTok, even if like. I mean, I don't have a crazy amount of followers, but like I would be scared to comment on someone's video that has as many followers as me and
Yeah.
be like, "Do you want to hang out with me?"
yeah.
But do it.
Yeah.
I've met so many of my followers in real life that have turned into like really great friends.
Yeah, that's something I struggle with too, because when you have friends in social, like I have supportive friends where if I text my friend Helen and I'm like, hey, I'm in this outfit and I really want pictures in it, because if you're making it in social media, you
Yeah.
want to be able to post everything, like post everything when you're in social
You
media.
really do.
Like she'll literally come to my house and do it. I went to so many events alone in New York when
I've
like
been to
years
so
ago.
many alone.
Yeah, and it's like
so sad.
it's sad, it's like good, but I'm like, wait, everyone here brought someone except me. And like maybe
But
I
also
should have
when
brought
you're
someone.
alone, you're pushed out of your comfort zone to go meet people.
Right.
Like that is how you meet. When I go with
agree.
events with friends, I'm so guilty of being like just sitting with my friend. Like
Right.
it's so nice to go and like force yourself to be social.
I agree.
Force yourself to make connections. It's also networking.
Yeah, no, next event, like, I need to ask you to come with me or
I would
something.
love
Because,
to
like, I also feel like
come.
I'm weird. Like, if I have my friend with me, I'm more likely to be social. It's so weird.
No, I'm like that too.
I guess because I'm
like that too.
comfortable.
It has to be the right friend though.
Yeah.
That's why it's important.
Like,
to
I'll
have
just be
good
like, Rachel,
friends.
that girl's really cute. We should go talk to her.
No, literally.
And, like, she'll probably be so grateful.
Literally. That's
Yeah.
how whenever I go to events with Alex, we always are like, "Okay, love you so much. Let's go make friends."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like we will consciously make sure we're not just standing in a corner talking to
Yeah,
each other.
I agree.
Because it's so easy to do that.
Yeah.
But we can do that whenever.
Events are something that I need to start
participating in again because they are so big for networking and content. Like
So
getting
big.
content. I've been trying to focus so much on just getting content. Now that I'm doing YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and podcasting, I'm like, I just need to record everything that I'm doing. Like
And then
every
learning to
single
like repurpose it too.
thing. Right.
Like making one clip into 10 videos.
Right.
Or 5 videos.
Exactly.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. So you have great friendships. I'm so
My
happy about
thanks.
that. Have
Thank
you
you.
ever dealt with like a friendship breakup?
Yes.
Because like you said a little bit of like, oh, you might have lost friends during social media time.
Yeah, honestly, like no friendship breakup since I started posting at all. Like everybody is still my friend, but I
Right.
think I believe in like tiers of friendships, and I mean, partially it's people move around. I moved away, other people move away. Like you just definitely grow apart from people. Everyone is. I mean, I'm blessed. Like nobody says to my face they're not supportive of me, right? So
Right.
like everyone's so sweet, but I've definitely grown apart from people, and like it's been made very clear like who is really in my corner and
Yeah.
who is kind of in my corner. I don't know who's not in my corner, but honestly, thank God, because I don't want to know. Like I
Right.
don't want them in my life anyways. But I went through a really bad friendship breakup before moving to New York, which is actually the reason I moved here. And
Oh.
I am somebody who like really, I've said this, like I really value my friendships. Sometimes to a point where I probably need to like take a deep breath and realize it's gonna be okay, because
Yeah.
like friendship breakups hurt me so much more than romantic breakups hurt me. Like this friendship breakup absolutely rocked my world.
Right.
Like I was not okay. I was not well, and we were living together. We were best friends. We had the same friend group. Like it was really, really
Was
tough.
it something that happened or was it like outgrown?
It was like a long time coming, but there was definitely a catalyst for
Okay.
it, and I am just so thankful for that. I think something I've learned throughout any friendship breakup, any job loss, any boyfriend breakup, it's like good things always come out of bad. Like only rainbows after rain, babes.
Yeah.
So
No,
you just like
literally.
have to remember that. And I felt so uncomfortable and like so unwelcomed in my own home, in my friend group, in my life. Like I was just so unhappy in Arizona, to the point where it like catapulted me to move to New York. Like I don't think I ever would have had the balls to move to New York.
Yeah.
I always wanted to, but I was always like, oh, I don't make enough money. Oh, that's so far. How would I even do that? How am I gonna
Yeah.
get my furniture there? Like it just never, it was always like an afterthought of mine.
Yeah.
So friendship breakups are really freaking hard.
They are.
Like
yeah.
really hard. And if you're going through it, just know everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be fine. And like I don't know. I feel like I wish I could have gone back and told myself too, like, it's just not that deep.
Right.
Like it really feels like your world is ending, but like if I saw her on the street today, I'd be like, hey girl, how you doing? Hope
Yeah.
you're well.
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna be besties and like hang out every
Right.
day, but like I would be like, oh my God, no hard feelings, just like we're not for each other.
Yeah.
There were hard feelings, but I don't know if she feels that way. My biggest freaking pet peeve, which I have freaking been guilty of it. My first boyfriend, I was cuckoo-diddle-doo.
Yeah.
Like I forgot everything and like just cared about him. Like I feel like
Right.
everyone has that learning curve,
Yeah.
and it is totally fine, and it's the human experience, and
Yeah.
to each their own. But like I, again, value my friendships a lot, and there's
Yeah.
some people who really value their relationships a lot, which you should definitely prioritize your
Right,
partner
of
and like
course.
learn to have different priorities, and you can have both, but like not forgetting about your entire life and personality and like
Yeah.
independence because you have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so I really can't stand people who let go of their entire sense of self
Right.
for a man.
And everybody. Yeah.
Like for example, if I was dating a boy and he was like, I don't approve of your best friend, I'd be like, all right, well fuck off.
Yeah.
She's my best friend.
Yeah.
And she has been.
I agree.
So you're gonna go out the door and she's gonna stay.
Yeah.
And so many people are not
It's
like
like
that.
she'll be at the wedding, but are you?
No, and when you break up with me and I'm crying on the floor, guess
Yeah.
who's gonna freaking house me for
I
2
agree.
months? Her. Like
I
it's
agree.
like, no.
Is that personal? That's great. You have great friendships. Now we're going to dig
Yes.
into the Choosing You series you have on TikTok and the recent breakup you went through, which we talked a
Yes.
little bit off air just to keep
Yes.
it. This is your first podcast,
Yeah.
your first time being vulnerable on social media and stuff too.
Yeah.
So breakups suck. And
They suck
you
so much.
made the very brave decision to talk about it online, which I think is huge and helps so many
you.
women. And obviously, I get so many messages from women that went through a breakup or had to walk away from a relationship. So give us a little bit, without telling too many personal details,
Yeah.
of course, give us a
Yeah.
little idea of how you're kind of feeling, what you had to go through, and how you walked away from it.
Yeah. Girl, it's deep. It's tough. Like, I feel like, one, give yourself grace because this is so hard. And, like, two, like, I've been in 3 serious relationships. I was the one that was broken up with the past 2 times, and then I did the breaking up this time. I feel like I used to maybe I was just immature, but like when I was broken up with in the past, I was so mean and bitter. Like I was like, F them. Like they don't love me. They don't deserve me. Like
Right.
I can't believe they like were trying to hurt me. And then now being on the other side of things, I feel like my mind is so opened, which is also partially just growing up. But like I think it's so important to experience both sides. I mean, I hope people can never experience heartbreak. That's ideal, right? But actually, that's not true.
No, yeah, I think it's the best thing for you.
I think it's the best thing for you
Yeah.
too. But if you can,
Yeah.
I would break up with someone and be broken up with because it has just like allowed my mindset to grow so much. I am a fighter. Like I am such a fighter, and especially because I have been broken up with by people who never let me fight for it. Like I feel like I was kind of blindsided in the past and just like walked away from on a random Tuesday. Like I have always vowed to myself that I am going to be one, extremely loyal, and two, like fight. Like I don't like to give up on things. I don't like to give up, especially on the people that I love. And like I believe in second chances, third chances. I believe in like letting somebody prove themselves to you. And I do think people can change. But I can definitely get caught up in that. And I think it's important to again zoom out and like really keep in mind your core values, because I think rose-colored glasses are so deceiving.
Yeah.
And I have obviously been a victim of that, of just like finding myself like so strayed from my original like moral path, and then once you do leave, looking back and being like, how did I get so effing far? Like that is insane. Like how did I put up with this? How did I accept that? How did I not leave when this happened, not leave when that happened? It's like you have to check in with yourself, which is why I love your podcast so much. Like I feel like it's so important to just be present and be aware. And I literally now like write things down and check in with myself, whether that's career-wise, friendship-wise, relationship-wise, like mental health-wise, whatever it is. But I was definitely unhappy for like a while.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into too many details. Like I do try to keep it high level. I'm sure one day I will, because I think it's a story that would like really help a lot of people. But for right now in my life, like I'm just trying to heal and move forward. But I think you can only shove things under the rug until one day it absolutely explodes.
Yeah.
Like you can't, nobody is that strong.
Yeah.
And like if you are, freaking props to you. But honestly, that sounds awful. Like I'm a Cancer, I'm super emotional. Like emotional intelligence is really important to me, and like being able to be vulnerable and like open and talk about how I'm feeling, what my thoughts are, is very important to me. And so to bottle something in and not talk about that will literally drive me insane.
Yeah.
And it did drive me insane. And so honestly, I felt like I just like got to a point where I exploded, and I was like, holy shit, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking it for a long time, but was like giving grace. And then there was just like one day where my eyes were opened. And also like don't be afraid to ask the people around you their opinions.
Yeah.
Because they probably see it before you see it.
I agree.
And I remember like one of my best friends from home came to visit me, and she pulled me aside and she was like, girl.
I remember keeping up with your social media.
Yeah.
And
when she was there.
yeah, and I remember seeing like your friend come in, and then I saw the content change, and I saw your bathroom background change, and I was like,
You're like, what's going on?
I was like, I knew it was happening. I told Rachel this like off air too. Like I knew, but like didn't want to ask her because I was like, if it didn't, I'm gonna look like a fucking psycho.
No. Also, like, I feel like there's so many little warning signs. Like, we do a whole other freaking podcast episode about that. But, like, And again, I hold my people that I love, like, very close to me, especially my friendship. So, like, if my best friend is coming to me and is like, Bibs, that's not right. Like, what is going on here? Also, just like, hey, you seem off. Like, are you good? Like, I was, like, unwell. And things can like portray in your physical health too.
Definitely.
When like your emotional and like mental health isn't going well. And like my skin has cleared up a lot since my breakup, and like my hair was falling out. My hair doesn't fall out anymore. Like little stuff like that I think is so crazy.
Your body rejects them.
Yes.
Like your body
it's like that Billie Eilish song.
When a man breaks up with a woman, it was because in the moment he wanted to, but when a woman breaks up with a man, she's been planning
It's
it
like so
for months and months and months. Like you just drove her to a point where probably months ago she brought up the issue to you, and because you didn't do anything to change it, she has been waiting for you to change it. When you don't change it, she's going to have that moment where she blows up, and that's it, because you had your chance. And a man should be so terrified to lose you. Like,
No,
right now,
so terrified.
So terrified. Like right now I'm in a relationship where I used to be afraid to confront a partner about like, hey, I don't like that you do this, because I think that they would just be like, okay, then bye. I'm gonna keep doing it and goodbye.
Yeah.
Now I'm with a partner where if I tell them, hey, I don't like that you do this, they're gonna say, oh, okay, let's work on it.
And
Instead
that's
of
a man.
it's a man, and it's
And
someone
that's a
that
man.
values you and loves you and
Literally.
chooses you.
Literally.
Like it's just such a different sense of security in a relationship, and when you walk away, that waiting period and just that season of being to yourself is so important. And the reason I said I'm so envious of you is because I wish that I had like a group of girlfriends after my breakup, because it would have made my breakup so much more enjoyable, but I didn't have that. And I'm sure there's days where you still feel alone or that you are alone. So what is your advice to people who have to kind of be in that alone time and be more to themselves after a breakup?
I think the most powerful tool I ever did was journaling.
Okay.
I remember, like, I'm not going to give timelines, but, like, there was times before the breakup where I was so down bad and, like, realizing, like, this is not serving me anymore. This is not good for me anymore. And, again, like you said, like, girls come to the conclusion months before things happen. So, like, give yourself grace. Like, I think you have to understand you're never going to be ready until you're ready. And, like, you'll know when you're ready.
Yeah.
I mean, you could rip the Band-Aid off and I'm sure you'll be fine.
Right.
And, like, you'll get over it and life goes on. But, like, I, again, like to be very methodical and, like, I like to fight for things and I never want to give up on someone or something without giving them a fair chance.
And that's a great trait to have.
Thank you.
It's a great trait to have.
So, I am a fighter and I did fight. But, like, my biggest thing, which I also learned Brianna Chicken Fry did this, so shout out girl, she's my queen. You should watch her freaking videos because she's amazing with her breakup advice. But I was taking like video journal entries. So I'm very into journaling, but I went through phases. I used to be like very big into writing, and then I kind of took a break because I was so like.
Did you like do it on your photo booth? Because I do that.
Yeah.
My
Well,
phone-
I
my
would like
Mac.
do it on my phone and then like put it in a hidden folder.
Okay.
Like there's like the hidden
Right.
photos app. Which I mean is really not that secure, but whatever.
My storage would just be screaming.
I know. But yeah, I like started doing that, and like it doesn't have to be for bad things, and it wasn't always about my boyfriend. Like it was also about like friendships. It was about situations. It was about like whatever I was feeling. Like I didn't know how to express it, and maybe I wasn't ready to talk to my therapist about it yet, or like I didn't want to tell my best friends because obviously it's hard to sometimes talk about relationship problems with your friends because you don't want them to think about them differently. It's nice to just get that out of your system, one, so it's helpful in that reason. And then two, when you are either ready to break up or post-breakup, and obviously it's waves, like you go through the frickin' 35
So
stages
many
of grief, I
waves,
swear, but it's like, I still have days where I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Oh my God, I'm so sad. But then I have days where I'm like, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's
this is
why
the
it's
best thing I've
hard when
done.
you're the one that makes the decision and it takes so
It's
much
so
strength because
hard.
at least if
It's
they
so
make the
hard.
decision, you don't have to sit with, oh, do I regret
Yes.
this? But like when you make the decision, you might think about it down the line.
Yes. And so now when I am having like my moments of sadness or weakness or like vulnerability, all it takes is me going back to those videos and like seeing how it literally makes me cry to watch them because like seeing how sad I was and like just like not my best. Like I wasn't happy. For not to say I wasn't happy in the relationship because like I definitely was and like we had our great times and like I was in it for a reason and but yeah, it helps. And like even like throughout my breakup process, I was back to my writing era. And so I was like writing in my journal. And so now I'll go back and I'll look and I'll read those journal entries of like how I was feeling and how I was coping and it's like reminding yourself it's normal.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I started my series on TikTok because social media has helped me a lot. Like hearing that you're not alone, hearing that people are going through it too, hearing that people go through it and then good comes out of it is so inspiring to see. So like don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to have community. Since posting my first video in my series, like I have gotten an unbelievable amount of DMs and comments from girls who live in New York City and are going through the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And people who have been like, hey, I moved out of my house with my boyfriend 5 years ago and like, it's fine.
Right.
I'm great. Like, life goes on.
That's why even when I messaged you, I was like, I'm telling you.
Helped me so much. Like, it's like, you really feel like in a breakup, like your world is ending.
I know.
Which your feelings are valid and like you should also feel your feelings and like cope and heal, but also reminding yourself like it's not that deep for anyone but you.
Yeah, and it's so important when you build things outside of your relationship, like your
Yes.
career, your friendships. Those were all
Yes.
things that even though the relationship ended, you still had that you detached from that person, which is so important.
Dude, and like that is so true. Like my relationship and my career were very tied.
Yeah.
Like I lived with this person and we had a dog together, and like my whole niche is like lifestyle home content for the
Yeah.
most part. And so like my lifestyle is my life and
Yeah.
my house, and I had a beautiful apartment with a beautiful view and like this beautiful life with like a man I loved so much and my dog and like this beautiful New York City apartment. And honestly, like selfishly, my videos were performing well because my
Right.
apartment was beautiful. Like I was so excited to move into this place because I knew it was gonna like help kick my career in the butt and like
Right.
get it up, because like it's all about aesthetic, it's all about quality, right? It's like if you have a nice apartment, which you do not need a nice apartment to be successful on social media,
Right.
let that be clear. But I like knew just like the lighting and the overall aesthetic of it would be
Of course.
a helpful component. And so the thought of walking away from that, and again, like I wasn't walking away from that into the apartment I have today. I walked away from that and into my best friend's apartment.
Right.
And she lives on the ground floor. She has no lighting. I had no room. Like I lived out of a suitcase. It was all of her things. I didn't want to film in her home.
Right.
Like she was always home. We were living on top of each other.
Tough.
Like it was so hard, and I really was so scared for my content. And since walking away, like I've seen freaking more growth since walking away than I
Right.
ever did living in that apartment.
Yeah.
So like just know that. And again, going back to what I said of like nobody cares as much as you think they care. Like I was like, what are people gonna think? And they're gonna think this, and people are gonna talk shit, and people are gonna like speculate that things happened. And it's like, okay, and like the world will keep turning.
Right.
You will be fine.
Yeah.
And especially if you're listening to this and like you're our freaking age, like we're 24, we live in New York City. Sorry, you have
do.
your whole
It's
life.
okay. Yeah. But like no texting, no let's hook up because we see each other. Like please, for the love of God, if you
No.
listen to my podcast, do not embarrass me like this. And I seriously like do not be listening to me and be texting your ex. Like I can't.
No.
Don't do it.
I mean, I don't know how I've had the strength. Like I've never, ever
What's
texted
gonna
an
come
ex.
from it? Because
like, ever.
what's gonna come from it? You guys get
No,
back
it's gonna
together.
come.
That's even scarier.
Okay, you have one fun night, and now you're
Right.
even more sad than you were to begin with.
Then you're
It's
gonna be in
like-
bed rot for another week, and now like your healing is gonna be set back because you made that
Dude, yes.
mistake, and it's gonna be so hard. Something my best friend told me: anytime you feel like texting your ex, text me instead. Just text
Yes.
me instead. That's it. Like whatever you feel
Literally.
like telling him, tell me. That's
Literally.
it.
Either that, if you have a good friend, and if you don't have freaking friends, then write a list on your phone of all the things you hate about him.
Yeah.
And all the mean things he's done. Screenshot the text.
Yeah.
Like freaking go back to your journal
Yeah.
entries. Like anytime it's like you're sad, remind yourself of why you walked away.
Yeah.
Remind yourself of the disrespect. Remind
agree.
yourself, and you'll be like, oh, now I'm mad.
Yeah.
F them. They don't get to have that
Right.
anymore.
Because
Because like the rose-colored glasses exist after a breakup still. Like you forget and you miss the person that you pretend existed.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize
you made them up in
who
your
they
head.
literally.
Mhm.
Literally.
Yeah. I used to go
No, it's
to
the biggest piece of
therapy,
advice.
and my therapist told me, she goes, write a letter to your ex or whoever broke your heart, a friend, an ex. Write a letter that they have to read but can't respond to. So write this letter saying however they made you feel, the good, the bad, whatever it is.
a great
They can
advice.
read it, but they can't respond. And I remember writing it out, and I was like, "What the hell am I holding on to? Like seriously,
You're like,
what am
that
I
is a
doing?
demon.
Yeah, like
You're like, damn, I
I
have a
don't
lot to
want
say.
this back. Like you don't, and then
No,
you
you
realize
don't.
you made the right decision because." I'm telling you, like, yes, a relationship is work, but love is easy. Like, love is the
No, it should be
easiest
so easy.
Thing to do, and when
And it should be
you
gentle.
won't have to
And it
fight.
should be kind.
Like,
and it
yeah.
should be like supportive.
You saying that you're a fighter, like,
Yeah.
I get that, but,
Yeah.
and, like, in my relationship now, like, if we have an argument,
Like, you don't need to fight.
right, we don't fight about it. It's like, I'm sure, like, obviously me and him have emotions, but we don't raise our voice, we don't curse each
No.
other. It's more so we sit there. And it's a big thing to realize it's us against the problem. That's
Yeah.
it. No matter what the problem is, it's me and you against the
Yeah.
problem. It's not me against you ever.
No.
So, like, if you're in a relationship where you feel like a problem arises and now you two are going at each other, me and my partner will sit there and we'll face the problem together. Like, this is our partnership against
Correct.
it. And you don't have to fight for the person or fight for the love when it's right, because it's just going to be so easy that it's
Yeah.
like, loving somebody is going to be the easiest thing, and it's going to be like a shock. It was a shock to me to be loved so easily. Like, this person just effortlessly loved me. Like, how did this happen?
And also lets you like still be you. Like
Right.
I feel like you shine in so many ways now. Just super inspiring, like to me, and like for my future, I get so excited of like you are making these big career steps. Like you do get to like explore your friendships, explore your friends, come to the
Yeah.
city, like do whatever. It's
Yeah.
like you don't have to just, you can be in a happy, healthy, best relationship ever, but like, it doesn't have to be your whole personality.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, they
it's so
are
important.
an extension of you. They're not you.
Yes, they're an addition to your life.
Yes.
So right now in this single period that you're having or that
Yes.
anyone listening to is having, like, really cherish this time to yourself, with your friends, with your family. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it's the best thing that ever happened to me, and it also just helped me so much to grow a relationship with myself, that I'm in a healthy relationship now because I was in a healthy relationship with myself.
It's so
When the
true.
breakup first happened, I was horrible. I was, like, going out every night, like, doing all these things, like, just trying to have fun, and, like, you know, I'm out of a 5-year relationship. Like, I'm going out. Like, I'm
You're like,
having
I
fun.
have never been out before.
No, I literally
This
haven't
is
been
fun.
out. Like, I
Yeah.
was 22.
Yeah.
Like, I never went
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah.
to finally, like, go through that phase, but then go through, like, the villain era of, like, locking in and, like, just getting to know myself.
Literally.
Best phase ever. So just enjoy that time with yourself, because then your future partner will be somebody that adds into your life. Can they make me happier than I make myself? Can I enjoy my time with them more than I enjoy my time with my friends? Like, those are the things you're going to be comparing, and it's so important to reach that.
I agree. I feel like there's such like a fine line between being with someone to fill a void and being with someone because they're adding something to your life. Like, and if you're not in the healthy mindset, you can obviously get those two things mixed up. And I would say if you're feeling the need to text your ex, you need to be freaking single.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're feeling the need, like, you need a boyfriend and
Yeah.
you need someone in your life or a girlfriend, whoever it is, like, you probably need to be single.
Yeah.
Like, when you met your boyfriend, you weren't looking.
Right. I know. It's crazy.
Like, I feel like the best love comes out of, like, oh my gosh, I don't want a boyfriend right now.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm great on my own.
That
And then, like,
wasn't
they're
me.
just so perfect that
Yeah.
it happens. Like, it's
that
like,
was me. I was in my protecting my peace. Like, I was like, for the first time in my life, I don't want a relationship.
yes.
And then he came along, and I was like, I don't want to go on this date. And then I went on the date, and now,
And then
like,
you're like,
wow.
wait, I love him.
Yeah, no, like, literally, I think I saw you when I got back from my date, like, at the office.
No, it was your first date, and you were like, so I'm
You were there when I was
engaged.
going on the first date, weren't you? Right before I went
Yes.
to the Hamptons?
And then I was with you when you came back, and I was like, oh my God, girl, how'd it go? You're like, well.
I was like, I hung out with him 4 times.
No,
in
you're
the
like,
past
that's my
week.
husband.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, I remember you and Anna, like, on the first date. I was like, I'm going on this first date, but, like, we'll see. It's one day, and then I'm going to the Hamptons the day after.
Yeah.
I came back, and I saw them literally 5 days after that first date. And I was
And
like,
then
yeah,
you
we
were
hung out
obsessed.
4 times, like, every day since then, and I'm in love with him, and I'm marrying him.
And then you guys were official, like, the next day. I was like, wait, I didn't know men could commit like this.
It's so easy when it's easy.
so
There's no
crazy.
games. There's no back
No.
and forth. It's like, oh wait, I want you. I'm choosing you, and that's it.
So much freaking better on the other side.
is.
I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, it is.
It's so much
You're gonna
better.
have bad days. You're gonna have
Yeah.
sad days of going through the photos and the messages and then.
I know. Honestly,
It's
the best
normal.
advice I heard, which was like right before, is like, girl, if you're thinking about it, you already made your mind up.
Yeah.
Like, it's really that simple.
Yeah. I agree.
Which, again, I like to fight for things, but
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta let them go.
Yeah, I agree. And if it comes back to you, it's meant to be. And if
Dude.
it doesn't, and
Do you
you're like,
remember my balloon theory video? Did you ever watch that?
wait, your balloon theory?
I made a whole TikTok video about it, so
Okay.
you can go look at that. It probably will be better explained. But it was on the Jay Shetty podcast. He had James Corden on the podcast, and it was right when James Corden ended his Late Late Show. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Who that is? Okay. So he ended the Late Late Show, and it was very successful. Everyone was like really confused why he was ending it because it was like doing really well on the charts. There was no reason for it to be over.
Right.
And he went on the Jay Shetty podcast and explained the balloon theory, which basically means when you have a balloon, it's like so shiny and beautiful and perfect, and like you're so excited, and you look at the balloon and you are just like in awe of it. And then, obviously ignoring environmental factors, but then you can like let that balloon go, and then like watching it float away, it's like a whole new perspective, and it's even more beautiful that way. And like you thought it was beautiful to begin with, like look at it now, and now you get to watch it float, and like it gets prettier and prettier as it gets farther, and then one day it's obviously gone, but you can remember that beautiful memory of the balloon and like how much you loved it and how inspiring and perfect it was. But if you have a balloon that's amazing and wonderful and it's tied to your wrist, and you love it so much and you want to hold on to it so badly that you don't want to let it go, and then one day the balloon like starts to wilt, but you still don't want to let it go because like you're trying to savor what it used to be,
Right.
and like you have faith and you're fighting to like keep that balloon alive. Like it's just like never gonna work, and one day that balloon's gonna be dead and on the ground and deflated, and then one day you're dragging the balloon behind you.
Yeah.
So like the theory behind it is all that I don't want to say if you love something, let it go, because if things are healthy and great, like
Right.
obviously let it continue to flourish. But
Right.
if you feel the need to let something go, and like you feel like it's time to like move on to the next chapter, and that can be relationships, friendships, career, like it can literally be applied to anything. But if you feel the thoughts that it's time to move on and like try something new, or end a relationship, end a friendship, I would say it's probably better to listen to your gut and like end it amicably and like have love and kindness and end so you can look back on that relationship and like be so thankful for the love you had and the beauty that that love was versus beating the relationship to the ground.
I agree.
And like fighting so hard that what are you fighting for, and now it's mean and ugly and like not a great relationship. And so then when you let it go once it's on the ground, it's like hard to remember the beauty that it once had.
Right.
You know, when like you could have let it go and been like, oh, love that person,
you
wish them
watched
well.
it, let it go. Yeah, I agree. And
like how many people hate their ex and have them blocked? It's
Yeah.
like, which there's space for that for sure. But there's also like so many relationships where it's like, oh my gosh, we just didn't work out. But like, if they need anything, they can always text me.
Right.
Like I feel like it's better to let it go.
Yeah, and I think there's just so much strength in being able to end a relationship. I know there's so many friendships or relationships I could have very easily been toxic with afterwards, and I just chose like peace. And I was like, you know what, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I don't need to make this something negative. Like, it was a good thing while it lasted. It had its good moments. I'm not going to take away from that. Something I never do is like talk badly about any friend or relationship I was in because I spent years with that person.
Let it be the beauty it was. Like, don't make it messy. Don't make it gross.
I agree. You have been so good. I honestly think you can make your own podcast at this point.
Oh my gosh.
You're good at talking. This was your first podcast. That is insane.
I like never shut up.
But I love it. That's why I was like, wait, Rachel would be great. When I reached out to you, I was like, I need to think of this. Like, amazing.
You're so sweet.
What are some upcoming projects you have come on, and where can people find you?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram. It's at @RachSolomon_. I kind of want to start a YouTube video.
You should.
Or a YouTube channel.
I just started.
I know. I'm a YouTube girl. Like, I've like watched since I was a little kid. Like, the beauty influencer era, and I've been obsessed. So I feel like, especially if TikTok gets banned, it might be my new thing. So I have been like starting to vlog. So maybe in 2025.
I like have 3 vlogs up right now, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a YouTuber.
No, I'm obsessed. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is. I've been like this all day. And then also like this because I'm like, wait, I need TikTok content too. It's so much.
No, I love it. So definitely look out for that. Don't know what my username will be yet, but I will post it on my Instagram and TikTok.
Great.
And then I am doing like a whole rebrand for my personal career, like personal job. So
exciting. I'm going to link everything down below as well for you guys to find her. Definitely follow her on social media. I love your TikToks, especially if you want to get into social media. So inspiring, your content, and just so fun to look at. So.
And I just moved into a new apartment.
Yeah.
So, like, moving content, that's a new era.
Oh, I'm like
excited
in
my freaking era. Like, it is incredible.
Yes.
And I'm like,
and you're feeling inspired and motivated.
Like, I'm not love it. Sad anymore. Yes. I mean, I still get sad, obviously. But yeah, I'm like on the upwave.
So excited.
So
for
great
you.
time.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So nice to have you. Oh my god. Amazing.